What is up, everyone? The free mic back at it again. I hope everybody's doing well. Today we got devlog number 2. A lot of cool new things that I wanted to showcase that I added since the other videos. So stuff that I've been working on, as well as we're probably going to continue to model some stuff. This one is going to be a lot less long than the first one because I'm not going to go over everything I did so far. The first one was containing the showcase, so obviously it was a bit longer. But let's jump right into it. So there's a couple things that are not that big of a deal, but ended up taking me a lot of time to implement, because here's the thing: when you don't know what you're doing and you have to follow tutorials, sometimes you follow tutorials by the letter and it's not working. And that gets really frustrating, and then you spend a couple more dozens of minutes, sometimes half hours, to try to figure what doesn't work, asking AI around forums and people, and then you just like, screw this, let's try to follow another tutorial that does the same thing, that has a different approach, and sometimes it takes 3. So for the 2 things I'm going to show right now that again might come across as a bit underwhelming, those 2 things took me 3 complete different tutorials that were more than half an hour long each before I actually got something that works, and I try to make the other. So the thing is that there's a lot of things that change from what I understand in the recent versions of Unreal, and some stuff just doesn't apply anymore, doesn't work anymore. So it's a bit trickier, but I managed to okay, so I guess to show, let me just maybe what can I just bring it very fast, just so I can show. So I guess the 2 things I worked on a bunch of things, but the 2 things that I'm talking about that took a long time was a better crouching system that allows me, or that prevents me from crouching back up if there's something above my head, so I don't get no clipped in it. And the other thing is a object highlight system. Since I'm not sure if I want to crosshair, I kind of wanted to maybe have some like highlight around some objects, let's say a key. So but to show the sorry, I should have prepared that before, yes. To show the crouch, I'm just gonna grab something. What's U-shaped door frame, maybe. Wait, where is it? What frame? Yeah, okay. So I'll just bring that here. So let me just unlit a bit because it's hard to see. Okay, so let me just reshape that, make it super duper thick. Whatever, it's really not important. Okay, so I'm not sure it would fit in there. Okay, so that's just to show the crouch. Is it? I'm not quite sure if it's high enough. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it like that. So it's a bit dark. Turn on my flashlight, maybe. Okay. So first of all, the animation is much smoother. So and oh, I also added. We see it right now. I added head bopping. I put it very minimal. I mean, I really like it. I think it kind of adds something. It does kind of deter slightly, not deter, drift a bit, I guess, from something you would see on PlayStation 1 as an example. But I don't know. I kind of like it, especially for walking. It just adds a bit of creepiness. But anyway, so like cool crouch, but here's the kicker, I guess, that was a bit tricky, is that now, if I do that, if I press the uncrouch, but the crouch button, nothing happens. And then if I get out, I can walk back up. It seems very simple, and obviously they all add quote unquote the same strategy about how you do that, which is logically it's simple. It's line trace that goes up, and if it hits something, you can crouch back up. So the second tutorial I followed, the first one was just not working. The first one didn't even have that component in it, but the real problem that I had is that I don't know, for some reason when I was crouching, the first time I was pressing the crouch button, I would drop to the floor, and then I swear to God, like 2 inches away from the floor, and then the animation would work, but from that height, which was like, again, 2-inch height. I tried so many approaches to try to fix that, nothing was working. Second tutorial was much better, but for some reason, I don't know why, the line tracing, although it was working, I could see when it was hitting or not a target. And it was like a long and complicated tutorial, about 26 minutes, 28 minutes, with like counter and timer of like when you crouch and uncrouch for the line tracing. And it didn't matter. I was never able to uncrouch. No matter what, I tried so many things for like 2 hours. Then I got really mad. Then I searched for one last time a different tutorial that was pretty high speed, 6 minutes, clocked in, and it works perfectly. Use the same thing, so I don't know to which extent is it like the other one was maybe better optimized, but it was not working. The second one, this one is working. Anyway, enough about that. So that's done, that's settled. I don't think I will ever have to touch that. The other thing that took me a lot of trial to have it work, it's to have this. So if I'm going closer to the key, now it highlights like that. So, and I followed a bunch of tutorial. The first one was like quick and simple, but it was only working on like basic meshes. So as soon as I was trying to use it on like a complex mesh, it was not working. Huge problem. Completely different approach to this one. It's about, there's a tiny post-processing volume around, which I'm not a huge fan of in the sense of, but it's not like I'm gonna have like 20,000 selectable items per level. It's gonna be like once in a while. It's gonna be so, but anyways, because I don't know, like, performance-wise, like, is it, like, so I don't know. Again, it's all that type of stuff that I'm gonna have to check out further down the line, but it's still really cool, and it makes it, I think, at least, let me know if you disagree or agree, but I think it makes it a lot easier to pick up items, you know? And so that's it. So that's the run head bop. The walk head bop, and well, it's still the same one on crouch, but it's just, so there's still stuff that I would need to adjust. So from I'm realizing that, and I think I could try to fix that myself right now, because I know, so basically is that if you hear the footstep, if I walk. Oh wait, let me maybe turn off the background music for a second, just make sure that we hear better. So if you hear the footsteps, like if I walk, they play at a certain pace, and obviously if I run, they play at a slower pace. But if I crouch and then walk slower, they played at the same pace of walking, even though, wait, am I even going slower? Yeah, I am, right? Yeah. Do I adventure myself? Wait, so wait, okay, wait. It's my BP player anyway. Okay, so I can actually make that a lot smaller now. Okay, now it's a good time to turn back on. Come on. I don't know why that twitch a bit, it's not super precise. Okay, so anyway, I guess I can bring the crouch more clear to the movements. Okay, so where is my footstep stuff? It's, no, that's head bop, that's dynamic footstep. But where is the mechanism of, so it's not here. Is it in my footstep tray stuff? Because there's definitely a thing that makes it play with it's with the play rate. I just need to find it back now. No, that's just for all the different surface and sound. Maybe it's in the footstep try? No, definitely not. I was really sure. So, okay, wait. So if it's not here, then where the fuck is it? It's the keys. Is it in my movement, maybe? Oh, yeah. Wait, is it? No. It does have something to do with a timeline. I just need to find it. Play timeline component. That's a flashlight. It's the head up. Well, that's embarrassing, I guess. Oh, wait. It might be in that timeline. No, there's nothing. It's just that. Okay, well, gonna have to check that out another time. Is this a construction? No. It's not here. Wait, but the max walk speed. It'd have to be here. I'm just dumb. Oh, it's in the sprint, maybe? Oh, yeah, okay. It's in the sprint here. Okay, yeah. Oof, that took me a little bit. Okay, so... But my question is why it's not... Oh, it's just because I didn't add that section. Okay, so... So the play rate here in my sprint is... It's right there. And what is the footstep time? Okay, so that's... Okay, so, okay. I think I get what's happening. So... Oof. I feel nervous, but let's give it a shot, okay? Let's give it a shot. I think I'm gonna be able to make it work. So what we need is a reference to our timeline, which I'm not entirely sure how to get. Let me try to just right click and be... what's it called? It's called footstep. Yeah, get footstep timeline. Okay, so we have that here. Okay, let me move that here a bit. Because they need to go in between the set. So how is it done here? Yeah, because that's what great. It's not, we're not affecting the sound itself, we are affecting the timeline of how the sound is made. So that's why it's just about set play rate from that timeline. Okay. And the new rate would be... I'm using a flip-flop here instead of like... But okay, I'm not entirely confident it's gonna work, but let's try it. So... just because I have two set... Oh yeah, I think it's fine. So... is it set play rate? Rate? Or just play rate? Yeah. Set play rate. Okay. So the new rate would be... let's do 0.75 maybe. Although if I'm going half, technically it'd be 0.5. 0.5. And then we move that a bit. And copy and paste that here. And let's put that back. Oops, sorry, the target needs to be that here. And let's put that back to 1. Holy shit. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's see if that work. Turn off the music. I'm like super stressed. Okay, so we have a regular speed. If we run faster, and now if we crouch, it works. But I can see that's a bit too slow, so I'm gonna do 0.75. There's nothing that makes me more happy than when I figure a tiny something by myself like that. So it does show that even though I'm going through a lot of tutorial and stuff, I am starting to really learn some of the grasping some of the basics and core factors and component, being able to it makes me, it sparks joy. So yeah, maybe 0.75. Whoops, 75. Compile and save. Let's try it again. Oh yeah, that's actually perfect. Fuck yeah. That's a super win. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. Sorry about that. And now I can show you the other cool stuff that I did that I think it's very, very cool. Some of it is funny. So I guess I'm just gonna show it right away. Let me save everything now. So good progress. And now into level, and let's go back in the kids' room. So, a couple of things. I think I'm gonna. Well, maybe we see. I guess that might be spoiling it. So I started to dabble with cutscene. It's actually very fun because as a video editor, once you kind of understand the basic of how it works, it's pretty similar. It's all about keyframes, and I'd say I guess After Effects more than like editing, because it's really about keyframing and everything. But it's super fun. So I was able to make a tiny cutscene. That's like ultimately how the level would start and potentially the game. So bear with me, the cutscene is a bit rough, and it's definitely not the final version. I did change the chest to the other one. I'm probably gonna fill it with some stuff. There's whatever that is in it. But yeah, so let's go full screen for that, and let's watch it. Okay, so cut that right away, I guess. Oh, I can show a couple things. So also stuff that I added. I remember last video we were working on the cubes, but I added some sound to them. The sound is shit, but it's hard to hear a bit. Okay, so I want to point out. So that was the funny thing I did yesterday. I'm gonna turn it off. It's a bit intense. So the cutscene is it's too short and it's too fast. Maybe we can do that today. Maybe we can kind of stretch it out and make it a bit more fluid. The transition between the end of the cutscene and like when we play, I think I'd like to add a tiny like fade in. I'm just not entirely sure how to do that yet. Although I could just add a fade in at the end of the thing, and that might kind of work-ish, but I'm not sure. So the screaming that we hear in the back, the two. So again, it's child trauma and violent parents and people fighting and everything. So I wanted that as a background sound to make it like it is, you know. So I started to search online for sounds of arguments and shit like that. And I couldn't find anything that was even remotely going to work. So I was like, oh my God, am I going to, because again, I have a full-fledged studio at home. I used to have a record label. I used to be a music producer and sound engineer. I don't really do that anymore. I fucking hate working with people. But I still have my most of my studio and everything, so I'm still absolutely set up to record stuff. So I was like, damn, I guess I need to go in my studio and scream into a pillow and bang on the door. So that's what I did. I set up my condenser mic in the middle of the room, and then I started to scream shit in a pillow. Then for like whatever the higher pitch slash female voice, I just tried to scream at the highest pitch possible, and then I just added a pitch shifter on it, like to make it sound more like, you know, a womanish. Yeah, I channeled my childhood. That was very cathartic, I guess. And then for the banging, I just ended up literally, I I put the mic a couple feet away from the door, closed the door, started recording remotely with my phone, and I started banging on the door from outside the room. So the funny thing about that is that I do live in an apartment building. It's not a huge, it's a 6 apartment basically. My studio is pretty well soundproof to a certain extent, but it's still funny because like I just sounded like someone who's beating the shit out of someone. So I know all my neighbors and stuff, but if I didn't, I would have probably went and kind of warned them of what was happening so they don't freak out. So that's it. It's really fun. I'm really happy with the progress. I want to do so much more stuff, like I said. So maybe we could, because I don't want it to be too long today, because I feel like an hour long. Again, let me know in the comment if you want longer or shorter video. I try to put chapter. I generally don't, but I did last time, and I think I'm gonna do it again because I understand people would want to skip to certain part. But let me know if you prefer like longer format. Shorter format, or do you prefer to see like just the result of what I'm doing, or do you want to see me doing it? Some of it I can't really, because I'm, like I said, I'm not gonna like watch a tutorial live on the video, and but a bit like I just did with the stuff, and maybe I'm gonna do with the sequence. So let me know all of that. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So sequence. So let's go in that sequence. And so I had tons of problems. It was not easy. Like like once you have like the stuff kind of settled and set, then when you work itself in the sequence, it's kind of that's really familiar. But there was a couple of weird issue with the because it's not the same camera as the game camera. It's a cine camera. It doesn't really necessarily respond the exact same way. So you got to check your post processing on both, and then the setting on cameras, and like make sure everything matches. So that's why it still doesn't match perfectly. Again, if we go back to it, and like if you pay attention to the transition between when it stops and when the gameplay starts, you know, it's a bit it's not like obviously the head bobbing might be an issue for that ultimately, simply because I guess I'm always gonna start the first frame at a random head position. So I don't know. That's why I'm thinking some sort of fade out, but we can try. Let's see if we can make that work. Maybe as a first thing. Maybe that'd be the first thing we can try to do. So sequence, and there you go. So yeah, let's try super. Okay, first of all, I think what I want to do is I want to make that a bit longer. It's like 10 seconds, but it's too short. So let's go 20, and just bring back everything. Oh wait, what happened? I want to extend it. Come on. Okay. So like that's the part. It's a bit weird. It's very reminiscent of After Effects. If you ever worked in After Effects, it's kind of, it's all keyframe based and kind of layer based. There's still some stuff that is a bit that I'm not totally grasping yet, like the camera actor, like see, like again, yeah, I guess so. The camera cuts and the camera actor, what's the difference? I'm not entirely sure. I know I need them both. And so maybe if we go, so that might be too slow. I just literally just extended everything. Like I said, that might be way too much, but it's just so we see it. So let me try to add a fade at the end again here. So now it's at 0. Well, I would probably want it. Okay, although I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring that back maybe a tad. Kinda. Let me extend everything properly. You know what? I think we'll go 21 second just as a concept for now. And we're just gonna bring that back a bit behind and then have our fade here that go to 0. And then here would go to 1. Okay, so let's try that. I think it might be too slow, too long and everything, and I'm really not sure of the fade. Because yes, I'm gonna fade out of the scene, but then I'm not fading back in the gameplay, so it's just a test. I'm really not convinced it's gonna work, but let's see how it looks. I kind of like the pacing right away. I think it's the right length. Okay, it's not so bad. It's not so bad at all, actually. It's not so bad at all. So as I expected, yes, there's no like fade back in the gameplay, but it still makes it a bit less jarring, I guess, transition wise. So my only thing maybe I would change is I think that now that it's longer, it's because it's very dark, so the fade in the beginning is almost like kind of useless, but okay, so when I bring back the keyframe, it does. Is it? It probably kills the camera, I guess, at that point. So maybe it's just a bit long. So maybe it's just a bit less long, just to see how it does. Okay, maybe put that in full screen and try it again. I think I preferred it when it was a bit longer after all. So I'm gonna put it back where it was. But I gotta say though, I really like having it longer. It feels more like crawly. And I think the fade really does a okay job at like moving between the actual sequence and the gameplay. So let's check it back in full screen maybe. And honestly, I'm pretty okay with that. So I really think that that is gonna be serviceable for now for sure. Like again, I'm not up. I might even make it longer and like there's way that we could kind of play with that and extend it depending of like, because I'm still not 100% sure. Like I'm writing that part a bit like kind of with more details of like, okay, cool, but what happened in that room, you know? Like okay, we start here, we spawn here, we have that, it's the parents that are violent and fucking the dad shit and the creepy room. But then what happens? Like so I'm probably gonna change that door, like, which is a proof of concept. Actually, I'm gonna remove it. See it. Bye. I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I'm thinking it could be cool, but it's just like I'm not sure if I ready to do that. A and B, if it. So like I'm thinking, yeah, probably the simplest way to do that would be to have like maybe another door that, and like maybe a chair that is like against it to kind of lock it, because I want to give the impression that the kid is scared. The kid is scared, and he's kind of locking himself in to keep the maniac that outside. But like, so we could extend it. I don't know. Like, oh, maybe we could have the player move the chair to put it there, kind of, and have it lock the door, and then go and hide behind something, and that would kind of fade off. Like, that would be the childhood memory as a start. I don't know. Let me know what you think. You know what? So, you know what? I think I'm gonna cut here for that little dev vlog. I'm definitely gonna continue to work on some stuff, but I think for now, half an hour, it's pretty decent. So I was able to show what I did, and we did two things that I'm very happy, which is like fixing the crouch walk speed by the crouch walk speed sound, and fixing the sequence. So that's good shit, as I would say. Could fix that normal here a bit, maybe. Definitely. But yeah, so that's it, folks. Thank you so much to give a fuck. Again, I'm super open to comments, opinion, pointers, both on the game itself or whatever, how I'm doing it. That's it. I'm done.